I guess there's no point in wasting this ride, so I'm going to film or talk about some other items, about some other talking points, but I might just use the video from this trip and speed it up and no audio, just music, and then use the talking points and video in slow-mo on another video. I don't know if that's going to work. I got no idea. This is the first time I've done this. There's something on my glasses. Couple topics I want to talk about on the way to the store. The first thing I want to talk about is just kind of like what my intent was and how I'm kind of facilitating that. So my intent was just, there's a lot of content on YouTube, there's a lot of creatives on YouTube, there's people out there actually trying, and for a long time I would just watch videos. I felt like, first of all, I hate my voice. I think every person in America hates their voice, but that's just, I think, the nature of hearing yourself talk in video or audio, whatever. So I never liked my voice, so I never wanted to create any content. I couldn't stand hearing myself talk. But the other side of that was, you know, why am I out there creating content? Why should I go out there and be creative and create content when somebody else that's going to be more popular and have more followers and they're going to do it better, you know? So what is my content in the grand scheme of what's already out on YouTube? But in reality, as I started to kind of look for things, you know, I bought a new motorcycle. There was no content for that because it was brand new. It was the first year release. There was a little bit of stuff, but not a lot. So I should have capitalized on being involved in that scene back then. You know, then there was some other items like, you know, I want to watch people do Harley wheelies without crashing in the cliff. You know, so that content exists and it's out there. But then, you know, I also want to hear somebody like other people who do wheelies and talk the whole time. You know, but at the same time, I want to see that guy that does that and wrenches on his bike. I just kind of wanted a mashup of everything I like to be in one place and one person. I guess that doesn't exist, right? How could I expect any singular individual to put out the exact content I would expect and I want to see? That's absurd. So my solution was, I think, pretty basic. I'm going to create the content that I would want to see, and hopefully in this world there is somebody else that wants to see that same content. So that's kind of the motive or the intent behind it. I want to create content that I want to see, period. Hopefully there's somebody along the way that enjoys it as much as I do. The way I'm facilitating that is, I didn't want to spend a bunch of money. You know, I do try to do things budget friendly. I don't try to spend a bunch of money, but here's one thing I will kind of stop and say now early on in this channel. If it comes to buying a tool or a method to do something, so that way in the future you don't have to pay somebody else to do it again, then I will go above and beyond. And let me give you an example about a scenario that might make that a little more clear. So for example, let's just use this. This is a pretty good example. The Fab 28 exhaust pipe. When I bought it, it was a satin finish, absolutely not polished whatsoever, except the one that they provide. And I wanted a polished pipe. So there's 1,000 different ways, right? You can hand polish it, you can buff it, you can do all this stuff. You can pay somebody. I think, you know, I found, the lowest I've found, there's a bunch of different prices out there. The lowest I found was 150 bucks plus shipping to send to a guy in SoCal, and he'd polish it, mirror polish it, and send it back. I'm sure I could have found somebody in the greater Sacramento area or the outlying towns that would have done it for around that price as well. But my logic when it came to that was, I'm going to buy this stuff to do it myself because I want to be able to do it myself. So I went out and I bought the tools to do that, and that cost more than probably paying somebody to do the job would have in the very beginning. I spend 150 bucks, I can get the pipe polished, or I can spend $200 and have the tools and do it myself, and then that way I can always do it myself. I wanted to facilitate doing this channel, but I wanted to be relatively inexpensive about it until I really proved it was something that not only was working in the world of the internet, but that I was passionate about. I didn't want to go spend thousands of dollars to create a YouTube channel and then in 2 months from now just totally fucking hate it and not want to do it anymore. Sure, I could sell the equipment I bought to do it. Sure, I could make my money back, but that's not the point. The point is, can somebody with literally zero to no effort set out to start a channel and continue to grow from there? And there's a million YouTubers across the world that have done this and have content that do it, but I just wanted to follow those same steps. So that's what I'm doing. For me, I didn't have a GoPro. I didn't have an action camera. I had a cell phone. Borrowed the GoPro Hero. It's a regular $140 GoPro. It's super basic. I went and borrowed it from, we'll leave them unnamed, but I went and borrowed it from a friend. Hey, let me borrow it. So they gave me the cage and the camera. With what you know and what you know of me, what kind of content do you want to see related to that? Do you want to know how I grew up and my life story? I mean, do you guys want to hear it? Put it in the comments. With that, I think that's the end of this video, and I'm going to leave you with